Chapter 9, Capacity. Every life must be carried by a mind. And like any system, the mind has limits. It can focus on only so many things at once. It can absorb only so much stress. It can sustain only a certain level of complexity before fatigue begins to appear. Yet modern life often encourages the opposite assumption, that more is always better. More commitments, more information, more goals, more stimulation. The result is that many people live at a pace where the demands placed upon the mind continually exceed what it can comfortably hold. When that happens, the symptoms appear quickly. Attention becomes scattered. Decisions feel exhausting. Irritation and anxiety rise. Even small problems begin to feel overwhelming. The common interpretation is that something is wrong with the person. But often the real issue is structural. The system is simply overloaded. Just as a bridge can safely carry only a certain amount of weight, the mind can carry only a certain level of psychological load before stability begins to deteriorate. A wise life, therefore, requires learning to recognize the difference between ambition and overload. Ambition stretches capacity and encourages growth. Overload quietly erodes the system that must sustain that growth. Understanding capacity changes how we think about many areas of life. It changes how many commitments we accept. It changes how much complexity we allow into our schedules. It changes how we structure work, relationships, and responsibilities. It also encourages a kind of humility. Human cognition is powerful, but it is far from perfect. Our attention drifts. Our reasoning is influenced by emotion and bias. Our perception of events is shaped by incomplete information and limited perspective. Recognizing these limits does not weaken us. It helps us design lives that work with the system we actually have. A person who understands their capacity begins to make different choices. They simplify where possible. They protect time for rest and reflection. They recognize that clarity often requires space rather than more effort. Gradually, something important happens. The mind begins to operate within a sustainable range. When demands no longer constantly exceed capacity, a different set of experiences becomes possible. Attention stabilizes. Judgment improves. Peace of mind begins to appear, not as a forced emotional state, but as the natural outcome of a system that is no longer overloaded. In this way, the goal of a wise life is not to eliminate challenge. It is to build a life whose demands can be carried well. Because when the mind is no longer overwhelmed, something remarkable becomes possible. Life can actually be lived,